Yes,
I'm
and
like an
it
idiot.
started in
But I
2023.
thought I was becoming friends with Keanu Reeves, and it was a fake Facebook account.
Okay.
Let's move away from judges for a minute and go to Louisiana. Let's see what's up with the board today.
Right now, so if you would correct that, we'll get started. If you can hear me, I'll go through my preliminaries. It's 8:40 in the morning. Today's date is the 8th day of January, 2026. We are in the headquarters of the Department of Corrections in Baton Rouge. My name is Steve Prater, and my board members this morning are Jerry Ledoux on my right and Chuck Tillis on my left. Chuck Tillis will be handling the questioning today about the revocation hearing that we'll be hearing. Staff, would you introduce yourselves, please?
Jessica Thompson.
Ben Cavalier.
Carla Williams.
And Francis Abbott.
Okay, and we are talking to Mr. Renwick Jackson, and y'all are at Ouachita Parish Correctional Center. Is there any staff in the room with Ouachita Parish?
Yes. Yes, sir. Good morning, Deputy Marchand.
Okay, thank you. And who else is in the room there? Would you introduce yourselves, please?
My name is James Ross. I was the attorney who was appointed to represent Mr. Renwood Jackson on the charges. And of course, we have the investigator for the Injured Defendant Board. Tammy, introduce yourself.
And my name is Tammy Jordan.
Okay. Well, thank y'all for being there. We appreciate it. And we'll go ahead and get started with this hearing then. Excuse me, sir.
Before you start the hearing, I'm not quite familiar with all the rules of the parole board. However, I was appointed to represent Mr. Jackson before the court, the 4th District up here. And then this matter as well came up. Now, we had a hearing which was scheduled for yesterday here at the 4th Judicial Court before Judge Manning, the district court judge, to determine probable cause. But the DA who was supposed to be present was out because of the flu. And, I am sure that there was no probable cause to bring the charges against Mr. Renwick in the beginning, which would have been brought out on yesterday. But for her sickness, I brought a motion since I just found out about the hearing that because of her illness, and I was tied up with Judge Manning all day yesterday. I drafted a handwritten motion for a continuance of this matter until Ms. Jones, the prosecutor, had returned for the probable cause hearing. And our witnesses, the judge had ordered that our witness not be brought in until after the probable cause hearing, which has been moved to next month. So I would like for this body to consider continuing this matter until after the probable cause hearing. And I wanted to file this motion. I was advised just to bring the motion to the hearing. And that's what I'm seeking today until Judge Manning ruled on the probable cause hearing.
Okay, we appreciate that. We understand that. And you do understand, I would hope, not to discuss a lot of legal things because I'm not nearly as knowledgeable as yourself, but we don't deal with probable cause on our committee as well. We do a preponderance of the evidence is what we have to have. And so therefore it's up to the board and my members. It's not just up to me about whether we continue it. But we don't necessarily need a guilty conviction to revoke. And the only time that really a guilty conviction has anything to do with the revocation is we automatically revoke on conviction of a felony. And so that's other than that, I'm not prepared to discuss the legal matters with you because I know you whoop me pretty quick. And so all I know is what we deal with on this board. And so I guess I would like to ask the board, is it your desire to continue this or to?
We have other matters before us not related to the actual crime of failure to register that we need to deal with. So there are other issues of parole conditions.
Okay, so we will go forward. Is that, okay? It's the desire of the board that we continue with this hearing. And you're welcome to step in and you'll be able to make a statement or whatever for the record. But we're going to go ahead and continue with this hearing and see what the outcome is. Okay, we're talking to Mr. Jackson. Would you tell us what your DOC number is, please, sir?
DOC number is 122349.
Okay, and do you have a revocation waiver in front of you that you signed?
Yes.
Piece of that you signed?
Yes.
Okay, and you signed that, and you do have an appointed counsel. The appointed counsel is present for purposes of the record. Having said that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Tillis to talk about the violations, the suspected violations of the conditions of your parole.
Good morning, Mr. Jackson.
Morning.
I'm going to ask, you have three violations that three rules that you violated. You can answer guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement. Not guilty with a statement. Rule number 4, on 8/20/2024, you were arrested for committing the offense of failure to register as a sex offender. You had an unregistered social media account actively in use on your cell phone. The next court date for this pending was charges is on 1/7, which you explained, your attorney explained. How do you plead on this? Guilty, not guilty, or with a statement? Not guilty with the statement?
Yes.
Okay. On 8/20/24, you were untruthful when asked about your social media account on your cell phone. How do you plead on that? Guilty, not guilty with the statement, or
Not guilty with a statement, sir.
okay. 10, you are in the rear of $1,312 supervision fees. How do you plead on that? Guilty or not guilty?
Actually, not guilty.
Not guilty.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Rule number 4, what happened? Tell us about that.
On rule number 4,
You didn't register as a sex offender.
well, I didn't.
Can we speak on that?
Sure.
All right. I asked Ms. Tammy to explain that so that you have a clear understanding of what's going on.
Okay, I honestly did not think we were gonna have to do this today. So I don't have my West Law book with me. But although on the arrest record, that's what the probation officer put. But if you'll look, there's some letters after, I don't know the RS code for failure to register as a sex offender off the top of my head, but after the number, the RS code number, there's going to be some letters and a number. So if you go down to that paragraph in the law book, he's never failed to register as a sex offender, but there's some paragraphs, some sub-paragraphs under that law heading. And it had to do, that paragraph that he was charged with has to do with having a social media account, which is not against the law anymore. You can have a Facebook and Instagram and all that, but when you have the Facebook, let's just use Facebook because that's why we're here. You have to have a banner on your homepage. And are you all familiar with Facebook and what it looks like? Okay, so on your homepage where it has your picture, your name, your real name, not a nickname or anything, has to be on that home screen on a banner, and you have to have your number. And I'm assuming that means the DOC number. I'm not sure about that, but you have to have your real legal name and your number on that banner, and you have to say, I'm a registered sex offender.
Is that on the account?
Sir,
Is that on his account?
he doesn't have an account. He doesn't have an account. He's never had an account. This gentleman sitting in front of you has never even had an email. Now, I don't know how much I need to say today. I feel kind of uncomfortable because we haven't told the judge this information. And we weren't having a trial yesterday. We were supposed to be having a preliminary examination of the evidence that, to see if there was enough reason for it to be probable cause to even arrest Mr. Jackson.
I think we need to.
Of course, that we didn't get to do that because,
Okay. Before we go into executive session, it's D1 regarding
ma'am.
social
That's
media.
correct. That's
Thank you.
correct. I don't trust myself. I don't trust my numbers, so I didn't want to say, but yes.
Thank you for your input. And the time is 8:50 right now. We have a motion by Mr. Tillis to go into executive session and a second by Ms. Ledoux. We're going to briefly go into an executive session to discuss a procedural matter. And then we'll be right back, probably within just 2 or 3 minutes. We'll be back in touch with you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Michael just summed it up in the chat when he said, "What a weird case." Yeah, exactly. The idea that his legal representation is like, well, I didn't prepare because I didn't think we'd be doing this today. What? I put in the chat, I hope this guy's not paying for this legal representation. If he is, he's getting ripped off. You got to be prepared for all eventualities, not just do half the work. But that's just my opinion. You let me know if you think differently in the chat. Let's go briefly up to Judge Simpson, where we'll hear some bonds continue while we wait for these guys to get out of their executive session.
January 29, 2026, 9 a.m. Bond continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court
See,
calls
right
case
there,
of the
bond
people
continue.
versus Christopher Thaxton.
Hey, Your Honor.
James Fifelsky on behalf of Mr. Thaxton, who is approaching.
Your name, sir?
Christopher Thaxton.
Thank you.
Your Honor, all discovery is in, and we would ask the court to set this for a preliminary examination.
Do other witnesses available the 20th?
That's fine.
Preliminary examination will be set January 20th, 2026, 9 a.m. before Judge Moore. Bond continued. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Stop. Court calls case people versus Rick Artuso. Right here. It's another Ballinger case. He's asking for an adjournment, so.
Mike Gaddy, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Mr. Artuso, Your Honor.
Mr. Artuso, can you state your name, please, sir?
Rick Artuso?
All right, he's awaiting a response on this. What I will do, adjourn the matter out to January 29th, 2026, 9 a.m. Bond continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Artuso.
Okay, thank you.
Court calls the case, people versus Mark Tipsword.
Proceeds to substituting in for the Washington County Public Defender's Office, appearing on behalf and with Mark Tipsword.
And I sign these substitutes. All right, what are we doing?
Your Honor, may Defendant and I approach, please?
Okay.
All right, good timing as they do their sidebar. Let's go back to Louisiana. Looks like they're ready to go.
We're we had been in executive session, and so we need a vote to go back into regular session. Do I have a motion?
Motion that we go back into.
Motion by Mr. Tillis and second by Ms. Ledoux that we return to regular session, and there is no objection to that from me. So we're back in regular session as of 8:53 now. Okay, Mr. Tillis, would you continue?
Okay, we have facts that he does have an account. And so on the rules that we have, rule number 7, how do you plead on that? You are untruthful when asked on your social account. How do you plead? You said with a statement. Go ahead, attorney, if you want to say something.
And that's what the Ms. Tammy was trying to explain to you, that this account is not his account, which appeared on his phone. I wanted her to get into the details. She is a retired Monroe police officer that's assigned to work with the Indigent Defender Board. We've gone through all the facts of the case, and we want to explain why there's no account. Mr. Renwick has no account, but how an account appear that you're referring to, you think that he has an account, but he does not have an account whatsoever. So if you just indulge us for a few minutes and let her explain it, you'll understand why.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, do you have a copy, or are y'all familiar with the probation officer's report, his arrest report, where he talks about, you're gonna see the words GUWOP was the name of the account. Are you familiar with all of that?
We've read it extensively, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great, all right. Okay, so y'all know what I'm talking about. So they were in a meeting, one of their visits. He gets his phone, he opens it up, and he can see a Facebook app. So he opened up the Facebook app, and he said, he saw a black man in a shirt. I mean, it's a huge picture, you can't miss it. And it says, instead of using a real name, the name of the account was GUWOP. Okay, well, I want to show you. When I saw that report, I got on Facebook, and this is GUWOP. And this is a man by the name of Dex Patton or Payton. He lives in Bastrop, Louisiana. And Bastrop and Collinston, it's like a little community close to one another. People who live in Bastrop have friends in Collinston and vice versa. And a neighbor, if I can call him a neighbor, of Mr. Jackson's, lived on his street in an abandoned house. The man was homeless, no running water, no electricity. And he would come down the street to Mr. Jackson's place, and Mr. Jackson would give him food, sometimes let him have water, whatever he needed, because the man had nothing. And so he would use the phone. You cannot have a Facebook account without an email. I mean, that's just, everybody knows that. This man has never had an email account, and I verified that, and I have written statements. And if we had known, well, this room's not big enough to hold all the people who know him. He's been incarcerated 2/3 of his life. He missed out on all the technology train that we all started with bag phones. I had a bag phone as a police officer. And as technology grew and our phones changed, well, we adapted with that technology. He missed out on all that. You cannot have social media without an email. That's one of the requirements when you're signing up. You have to have that. I verified he does not know how to do all that with his brother. I have a written statement from his brother. I have the written statement and interviewed them for extensively. The young man who lived down the street in the abandoned house. All these people were subpoenaed for court and willing and happy to come to court. And I now have an address to serve subpoena on Mr. Payton, and he will be there. And I don't know, can y'all see well enough that,
Yes, ma'am, we can see pretty clearly, believe it or not.
okay, see, for
Yeah.
me, it's not that great to be able to see y'all. And I read lips and I'm not able to do that, so I'm kind of struggling. But right here on the screen, you can see where it says GUWOP, GUWOP. Look at the probation officer's report. He was so angry when he saw this. And Mr. Jackson kept telling him, please look at his statement to the probation officer. He said it over and over again throughout that 2-page report, over and over. That is not mine. I don't know. I don't know how that's on my phone. I don't have a Facebook, is how he refers to it. So I have those two men. There's a friend of his in Lake Charles, her and her husband. She said, Miss Jordan, the only way I've ever communicated with Mr. Jackson is by talking on the telephone. He doesn't have social media. He does not have an email. She said, we talk. She said, he will text if he just absolutely has to, but he does not know how to do all that. He should
Okay.
never had that.
Ms. Tammy, I just pulled up Facebook, okay?
Ma'am.
Renwick Jackson. This picture is exactly like the offender sitting before me.
Yeah, I see that.
I want you to know that we have spent hours on Facebook. We spent hours when we were putting this together, and there was no Renwick Jackson account. Now, do you realize that someone can't, now, ma'am, please, they can make a Facebook in my name. They can make a Facebook in your name.
Yes,
I'm
and
like an
it
idiot.
started in
I thought I was becoming friends with Keanu Reeves, and it was a fake Facebook account.
Okay.
You don't have an IP address, and they did not do a forensic download of that phone. You cannot prove that is Mr.
Okay.
Jackson did that. He can't do that without an email. He can't do that.
Do you have any,
I don't have any more questions.
okay, did we finish all the violations?
Yes, rule number 10. You said that you're in the rear of $1,312, and you said not guilty.
It's because you've been incarcerated.
Yes, sir. He was paid in full up until the time of, that he was reincarcerated. He was up to date
And employed.
and employed at the time.
Okay,
Yes.
all right,
Garrett, yes.
all right.
Okay, do you have any questions? And I have no questions.
You're ready? I'm ready to vote.
Yes,
I'm gonna vote do not revoke. That's my vote for today.
okay,
My vote is to revoke based on non-compliance with conditions of parole number 7.
And number 7 would be,
The social media, being untruthful about the social media.
all right. Did you understand though, how that you cannot have a,
excuse me, sir, we're voting, and I'm sorry, but it's, time for the argument is really over.
right?
I
I just want to
hate
make,
to cut you off, but this is a little different. And my vote is to continue. Because I'm not satisfied. And so I'm going, put this in quite a dilemma that I've never been experienced. And because we have 3 separate votes. And so,
Okay, I'm gonna change my vote to continue. I think until this is ironed out, and you feel like you got proof, we don't want to send an innocent person. And so my vote's gonna be to continue this as you asked.
okay,
Thank you.
back to square one. like Mr. Attorney asked to begin with. We have voted 2-3, which all it takes on revocation is 2-3. And so therefore, this case has been continued as of 9:02 this morning. And you'll be hearing more from us as we continue to study this particular situation. 9:02, end of hearing.
May I say something else, please, on the record? Nope, cut us off.
Damn straight you got cut off. Oh my goodness. This, my friends, there's a bunch of new people out there. Welcome, by the way, to TCF Live. This is why you join us every day. You never know what you're going to come across here. I've never quite seen a parole board hearing quite like that one. And we don't have a resolution because you're going to continue it. Ill-prepared attorneys arguing silly things. I don't know. So next week, Monday, the show gets a 4th hour. We will be starting at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, going forward from Monday. The 4th hour will not be like the first 3. We're not just going to sit there and watch court like we do now. We're going to have a lot more discussion, a lot more about what I think of things and what you guys think of things and whatnot. This is the type of thing that I think we would be discussing in the 4th hour, is breaking down what we saw, the good, the bad, the ridiculousness of it all. So be sure to join us for that. But again, lots of new people out there, so welcome. Hey, thanks for watching. Please do let us know in the comments what you thought of this video. If you'd like to support what we do here, the best way to do it is to pick up some of our merch. You can find it at courtroomfiles.com.